spelled, oh my gosh, though it is spelled Leg, it is not leg. It is pronounced ledge. Just like real Louisiana legislature, students will come together as House and Senate to debate on bills. It is normally the first week of December. This year, it will be the 7th through the 9th. Um, in your Zoom name right now, you have your school, but here we call that your delegation, where you are a delegate. So, a few reasons why you should attend Ledge. Number one, to get your ideas out there. And number two, just to have fun.
Okay, so little conference schedule overview. So you're gonna get there on Thursday, and Thursday night we're gonna have committees at the hotel. Um, we're gonna talk a little bit more about what's gonna happen in those committees little bit later. And then Friday we will have our general debate at the Capitol this year. Yay, spirit fingers for that. So we'll travel over there. You'll have your general debate in your House and your Senate. And then we're going to travel back and we'll have a little fancy dinner, banquet at the hotel. After that, you're going to go and you're going to get ready for the dance and trivia. And you're going to come back. You're going to vote for your 2024 state board. And then we're going to have some fun at dance and the trivia. And then Saturday morning, we will have our plenary session, which is a huge, big group of all of us, and our veto override session at the hotel.
So there are three main chambers for debate at Youth Ledge. There's the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the Supreme Court. So when bills get highly ranked, they will either go to the House of Representatives or the Senate on the bill docket. And the House is typically the largest chamber. It is recommended for less experienced delegates who have not had much experience with Ledge. And the Senate is smaller and it's typically more serious debate. So the chairs will be a little more strict and debate will just flow a little smoother because there will be more experienced members. And in the Senate, there is also limited spots within the chamber. So if you would like to be in the Senate, please let your club manager know so that they can sign you up for the Senate. And the Supreme Court, which is the smallest chamber, is more discussion based, and we'll talk a lot about more about that later. But this is where bills will be challenged and where bill challenges will be debated.
Bill writing. So this is going to be basically the structure for your bill that you write before conference, and every delegate must write a bill unless you are a Supreme Court justice or a gubernatorial candidate. So you're going to start your bill off with the title. This is just what you want to call your bill. Then the next section will be background. This is going to be the basic description of your bill and what it is, what you are aiming to do with this piece of legislation. Next, we have the implementation, and this is going to be how you want to implement your bill, how you plan to do it, what the procedures will be to get it implemented, what it'll be afterwards, how it'll be put into place, all of that. Then you have your funding. Funding is just going to be where the money is coming from, how you plan to fund this bill, and where the money will go to. And then lastly, we have penalties, and this is just going to be the penalty that whatever company or whoever is affected by the bill will receive if they don't follow the procedures.
Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about committees. So on the first day of Ledge, every single bill is put into a committee, and this is where the first round of debate is going to happen. So committees are really great because it allows you to get acclimated to debate in a more relaxed environment. So committees are the place where it's more okay to make those mistakes because your committee chair is going to be more than happy to walk you through the debate process and answer any questions you might have. Committees are also the only round of debate where you have guaranteed speaking time, so it's a really good place to debate, especially for new delegates. There are two topics in every committee, which is good because you get more variety and also some different opposing viewpoints. So, after a debate on each bill is ranked based off state importance, feasibility, presentation, originality, and debatability. And the bills that are ranked most favorably are going to move on to be debated on either the House floor or Senate floor based off whether you're a House delegate or a Senate delegate. And remember, when voting, we vote on a 1 through 5 scale, where 1 is the best, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is the worst.
Okay, so how do you track your bills? So the bills that are ranked most favorably in committees will be put on a docket for both House and Senate on Thursday night. So you can track your bills on the LA Youth and Government website. And even if your bill doesn't make it on the docket, you still have a chance to debate it in your chambers for both House and Senate. And then the two highest ranked House and Senate bills will be put on the plenary docket to be debated in our plenary session on Saturday.
All right, guys. So your bill's path on the first night, you're going to be in your House or Senate committees. So they're going to be presented there and ranked, and then the highest ranked will be passed on to the next day. Like Riley said, the two highest from House and Senate will go straight to plenary. On the second day, you're going to do more debating in your chambers, and then if your bill ends up passing in your chambers, you go to the opposite chamber. So if you're in House, you're going to go to Senate. And if you're in Senate, you're going to go pass it in the House. And then from there, it's going to go straight to the governor. And so the governor will either pass it or veto it.
Supreme Court. So this is what I preside over. To challenge a conference bill or pass legislation, y'all can submit a challenge form. Y'all can submit almost any past bill or past like real or fake bill. We're gonna hear your argument over like how constitutional it is. Y'all can choose like any amendment of our Constitution to debate it if it follows that. And then if you're interested in joining this, we really look for people that enjoy arguing and are willing to like put themselves forward. Your job is to like enjoy the argument, consider the arguments made by our attorney generals, and then debate with each other, the other justices, to decide on the constitutionality of the bill. You get the opportunity to work with a small group. It's a very it's a more like hands-on youth ledge experience, in my opinion, and it's really great. I loved it. You also don't write a bill. That's a big up.
Okay, so a Supreme Court challenge form is whenever you fill this form out whenever you think that a bill goes against the Louisiana state constitution or the United States Constitution, or it directly defies previous legislation. And any bill can be challenged in both House and Senate, and any delegate can challenge a bill. And a bill can be challenged once it's passed from its originating chamber on Friday.
So a little about the delegation council. It consists of one representative from each school. So it can be either your president of your youth and government, or it doesn't have to be. Just someone you trust will relay all the information back from the meetings to your clubs. We will meet 3 times throughout the conference outside of debate time. We have some morning meetings, and the people on the delegation council will act as liaisons between your schools and council leadership, so that we can get conference feedback and make next year's conference as good as it can be. Another big thing that the delegation council participates in is there's a small Q&A with the gubernatorial candidates. So your club can send questions straight to the candidates through your delegation council members, so that they can get their questions answered and before they make their vote.
Okay, so lobbyists. So at the end of day 1, if your bill does not make it to the next chamber in Senate or House, you can apply to be a lobbyist. So I, the governor, select 5 lobbyists at the end of day 1. Each lobbyist will act as an advocate for a key topic appointed to them. And once you're appointed your key topic, you're free and you go debate in the chambers. And if your key topic is brought up for debate, you get priority speaking time. So if your key topic was environmental bills, if there was an environmental bill on the floor and you raise your placard, you get priority speaking time and you are prioritized to speak on the key topic.
Okay, so elections. If you want to run for the 2024 state board, your big three are governor, speaker of the House, and president of the Senate. If you would like to run for any three of these positions, you will have to give a speech and announce your candidacy at pre-ledge. And if you would like to serve as a Supreme Court justice for the upcoming youth ledge in 2023, you also have to give a speech and announce your candidacy as well.
Okay, so kind of the big one you can run for is governor. The governor must be a returning delegate and a rising senior, which means you would have to be a junior at this year's conference to be governor next year. Some of the responsibilities of governor are attending state board meetings until over the summer and assisting the programs with the planning and functions of youth legislature. So at the state board meetings you're attending, it's your job to help plan and make sure things run smoothly. So you'll also be serving as a state officer and assist with training and any other statewide activities the program needs. At conference, your job kind of it continues over. You're in charge of making sure things run smoothly. And you will also preside over the plenary session and you will debate and veto override and defend your vetoes. It's really fun.
Okay, so your next two big positions are the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate. The Speaker of the House will preside over the House when the House is in its big session, and the President of the Senate resides over the Senate during their large session. To run for these positions, you must be a returning delegate, but you do not have to be a rising senior. You can be a not rising senior. The requirements are that you must attend all the state board meetings leading up to ledge, and you must assist program staff with any statewide youth and government activities, as well as assisting with club officer training and other activities across the state.
Supreme Court Chief Justice is very fun. You're going to be any delegate, first year included, so you can be a freshman and become a justice. We're going to get 2 per district, and your main job, you participate and administer rulings on cases presented by a defendant. You hear both the complainant and the defendant make their argument, working with their attorney general, and then you decide, not which argued best, but which was right. Yeah, that's Chief Justice, not Chief Justice. Sorry, Justice.
Okay, so Attorney General. This is the person, these are 2 people that help authors defend bills and help challengers challenge in the Supreme Court. This can be any delegate. So if it's your first year and you want to apply for something, definitely apply for Attorney General. However, this is an application process, so you will not be giving a speech at the conference. And your application is due at pre-ledge because you will be the presiding Attorney General for this year's ledge. And then your application will be reviewed by our Governor Alyssa and our Chief Justice Paul. And if you just enjoy arguing or you want to work closely with the courts or you want to be a lawyer, this is one of the best positions that you could do, so you should definitely apply.
Hey guys, so October 22nd from 1 to 3 p.m. is club officer training. The club officers for your club should have already gotten that email about the club officer training. Each club can send 2 club officers. For the virtual pre-ledge, it's the week of November 6th. The specific date for pre-ledge for your district is going to come out soon. The Youth Legislature Conference is going to be at the Crown Plaza Hotel this year during December 7th through December 9th. Do you have any questions?
This can be questions on elections, conference, different positions. Eagleton, I'm sorry.
You're all right. I just seem to have missed this. What is the process for applying for a Supreme Court justice?
Paul?
Okay. When the next pre-ledge happens, there's no real application. I don't think. You just say they're going to run when we ask who's running for Chief Justice, and then you'll make a quick speech.
Riley, St. Joseph's.
If we want to run for an office and we're going to need to give a speech at pre-ledge, how long should that speech be?
Your speech doesn't need to be long. I would say probably 2 minutes or less.
Thank you.
Helen?
I'm so sorry. When we're giving, like, are we supposed to be preparing our speech now, or are we going to work on that in one of the sessions?
No. So when you attend pre-ledge, your speech should be ready to present because that's when you will announce that you are running for something and then give your candidacy speech.
So we're supposed to be working on it like now if we want to run for something.
Yes.
And what can freshmen run for again? Can we run for Supreme Court?
I believe freshmen can run for,
Yes, Supreme Court.
yes, Supreme Court.
Okay, thank you.
Or Attorney General.
Are there any other questions? Montalbano from SJA. I am so sorry if I pronounced that wrong.
No, you got it right. Where's the like application for Attorney General? Like how, I guess, the question.
So sorry. We will email an updated application form when we announce the pre-ledge dates. And so there you will fill out any sort of intent to run form. So if anyone is interested in running for Supreme Court or for to serve as the candidate for governor or Speaker of the House or President of the Senate for your district, then we will email the intent to run forms as well as have them posted on our website.
Thank you.
Nick from Catholic.
Hey, so yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
So, yeah, those emails, will they go out to just the president or to all the club officers? Because apparently we were supposed to get an email, but I didn't receive it.
The email should have gone to your club advisor and the president. I don't know if it was emailed out to each individual officer.
All right, thank you very greatly.
You're welcome. Montalbano, do you have another question or is your hand still up?
Sorry.
No problem. Okay, does anybody else have any questions? These are all great questions.
There is one in the comments in the chat.
Yes, I just saw it. So will we share bill templates as well as examples? So when your club officers come to club officer training, we will be giving them a plethora of resources there, including bill templates, etc. And we will be sending out this recording.
And we can also email previous bills as well as some sort of guides on bill writing to all the club sponsors and officers as well.
Helen, you have a question?
Will you give a list of like the criteria for speeches if we were running for something?
So there isn't really a set criteria. So for speeches, you kind of just go why you want the position, why you think you're qualified or would be good for it, and then just keep it around 2 minutes or less.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do I have any other questions? These are all great questions, guys.
The speeches that happen at pre-ledge are not, I mean, as Alyssa stated, they're usually, like 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes. Not much you need to stress that too much. We just want to be able to give you a heads up in advance to want to prepare in case you want to prepare something. And each district has their own pre-ledge where you are electing candidates per district. And that schedule will be emailed out to sponsors and club advisors. and officers.
Helen, do you have another question? Is your hand still up? Okay. I do not believe we have any other questions. Any last minute questions? No? Okay. Well, I'm so excited that you guys came to our ledge information session. I hope you guys got some good information out of it. And I look forward to seeing you guys all at conference. Thank you for coming.